Hello aspirants, welcome to Get Set Law. So as we are heading towards our D-Day, the CLAT examination on 3rd December, we are here with an important current legal news which will help you to prepare for exam in a much better way. So let's get started. In this video, we'll be discussing the few important legal news. This is part 1 and shortly we'll be back with the part 2 as well. Rahul Gandhi defamation case. I'm sure we all must have heard about this before, that like few months before we had this air of Rahul Gandhi getting caught in a defamation case. So this is a very important case in which we get to know that how Rahul Gandhi got disqualified from the Lok Sabha and his candidature was cancelled and he was disqualified from being a member of the parliament, and we will see why he was disqualified. So we know that Gujarat High Court had refused to stay the conviction order which had been given by the trial court, because in one of the rallies back 3 years back, he has mentioned that all Modi are thieves. He made a reference, Narendra Modi, Lalit Modi, Nirav Modi. So he made this reference, and although the parliamentarians get the parliamentary privileges which is ensured under Article 105 of the Indian Constitution, but since this speech was outside of the parliament, hence Rahul Gandhi was booked for the defamation. Maintenance to wife. So we know that when it comes to the maintenance, we have two provisions. So when we talk about a unitary provision, we see CRPC section 125, which is a general provision for all the women to claim maintenance irrespective of the religion. Otherwise, we know that family laws are the personal laws, and like Muslims have different legislation, Hindus have different legislations, Christians have different legislations, so forth and so on. But CRPC is a one-stop solution for all the cases which is irrespective of any religion. In this case, a wife was seeking maintenance and Karnataka High Court rejected her appeal, in which the trial court has reduced her maintenance from 10,000 to 500 and compensation from 3 lakh to 2 lakh. So this was the order of the Sessions Court which had been given towards the wife. Now court said that wife had been a working employee, and because she was working, she should not be dependent upon the estranged male partner. So this was the decision of the court, and I have mentioned section for your reference and you can see in the screen. So section 25 for Hindu Marriage Act 1956, which is exclusively available for the Hindu women, and 125 for the CRPC, which is a general provision. Uttar Pradesh Gangsters and Antisocial Activities Prevention Act. Now you all know about the Uttar Pradesh, how Uttar Pradesh is famous, had been famous for certain activities like, involvement of the gangsters, or we have seen the increasing crime rates, which is significantly reduced in the past 5 years, but the history says so. So ex-UP MLA Mukhtar Ansari, he received life sentence under this act, and this act was formulated in 1986, and the major purpose was to curb the crime. So there were certain kinds of organized crime which have been rising in the city, and the major purpose was to reduce the same. So 20,068 FIRs have been registered so far, out of which 64,039 individuals have been arrested since the inception of this act. So this is the data which has been taken out, and the data is from 1986 to March 2023. Section 2B of this act defines what gang is. So gang is a group which is involved in any kind of antisocial activities which ultimately disturbs the public order. So this is a definition. Next is right to information and non-citizens. So one thing I'm sure you must all know, that fundamental rights are majorly available to the citizens and certain rights are also given to the non-citizen. So when we do a careful analysis of our Constitution of India, we find that there are two kinds of words mentioned. One says that the right shall be given to all the citizens, right? So the word citizens has been used and the word person has been used. So wherever the word person has been used, it means that it is also available to the non-citizen. So this is the catch in our constitution, and therefore right to information is also available to the non-citizens. Section 3 of the RTI Act, it states that all the citizens shall have the right to information, but Delhi High Court was dealing with this matter, and the matter was related with the Tibetan refuge, and they considered this question and they allowed that yes, non-citizens shall also be given right to information. Paradox of voting rights in India. So Article 324 of the Constitution says that every adult, so basically we have introduced the system of universal adult franchise where everyone above 18, which is a legal age, is eligible to vote. Despite having this constitutional provision, right to vote has not yet recognized as a fundamental right in India, which is a major concern, and it has been reflected in the judgment of the Supreme Court, where the court noticed that how we are undermining the significance of the right of vote. And yes, it has been seen that how the youths of the country have not been involved in the voting. And it is a matter of concern that our youths are not getting involved. So everyone who has turned 18, all the students who have started going to college, it is my request that you should get your name enrolled in the voter list and you should cast your vote. Because we are living in a democratic setup, casting vote is a very crucial feature. So that is how we will be able to upkeep the democracy, otherwise it will fail. So Article 21 of the Constitution includes this particular activity. Right to vote is considered as a part because it includes under right to life and personal liberty. Bombay High Court has got the new Chief Justice. So central government has appointed the notification of Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay as the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court. Justice Upadhyay graduated from the Lucknow University in 1991 and he was then enrolled as an advocate in the same year. He practiced at the Lucknow bench of the Allahabad High Court before being appointed as an additional judge in 2011, and now he is appointed as Chief Justice of Bombay High Court. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has introduced landmark changes in our criminal laws. So you must have knew this, and I request that this particular information must be well versed, well read, because there is very high chance that you may get questions from this topic either in the current affairs or in the legal aptitude, because this is a very significant change which we have introduced in our criminal system. So 3 bills had been presented in the Lok Sabha which will replace our key legislations. One is IPC, one is CRPC, and third is our Evidence Act. So these were the 3 important legislations which were governing our criminal law. Now, in replacement, we have introduced, in the place of Indian Penal Code, we have introduced Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. And in place of CRPC, we have introduced Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Bill. And in place of Indian Evidence Act, we have introduced Bharatiya Sakshya. and multiple changes has been introduced in the IPC or in the CRPC or in the Evidence Act in order to strengthen the provision with which we will be able to provide the justice to our citizens. So this was the purpose for introducing this new set of laws, and we hope that multiple changes will be seen. Indian member in the Commonwealth Secretariat, it was a matter of a pride that an Indian member, our additional Solicitor General Aishwarya Bhati, has been selected in the Commonwealth Secretariat. It was a great news. She is a senior advocate of the Supreme Court and currently she is appointed as additional Solicitor General. Now you must be wondering, what is Commonwealth Secretariat? So the Commonwealth Secretariat is a global body, it is a project and they assist in order to help the other countries. They promote the different kinds of reforms in the military justice system, and that is why the legal table has been introduced, and that is why multiple legal luminaries are there in the committee. So Commonwealth is an international body. It comprises of 56 nations and their major focus is to promote democracy, good governance, peace and the rule and order of law. GNCTD Amendment Bill, Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi 2023. So this had been one of the most controversial because it had series of events and it was a very, it was a game because it has been seen that how Supreme Court was involved and how the central government was behind the court to overturn the judgments of the court. So multiple times court said that the Delhi government, which is democratically elected, they shall be given the powers to overlook the daily administrative affairs of the state of Delhi. Now, this has been overruled, this had been overshadowed by bringing this amendment of GNCTD Amendment Bill 2023, with which the power is given to the Lieutenant Governor now. It is a matter of surprise that a democratically elected government will be toothless now because the Chief Minister is a part of the three-member committee who will be taking decision, which is led by the Lieutenant Governor, and Lieutenant Governor in turn is a tool in the hands of President, ultimately ruled by the central government. So this was a kind of move taken by central government more or less to occupy the capital Delhi. So this is somehow curbing the democratic procedures established in a constitutional way, and we hope that certain judgments in future will help to retain the democratic status of the state. So there was a unanimous judgment which was a constitutional bench was looking after this judgment, and that was headed by our Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, and they said that all the administrative services should be dealt by the Delhi government, including the IAS, and except only three matters, that is land, police and law and order. But yet the government has overturned. Digital Data Protection Bill 2023. This is another very important news because from 2017 we are fighting for this. It was the time when we introduced the judgment which had been given by the Supreme Court back in 2017, the Puttaswamy famous judgment, in which again D.Y. Chandrachud played a very important role. They said that we need the privacy in terms of digital era. So we are digitalizing everything with the every single day, yet it poses a lot of threat, like we are also seeing about the deep fakes. We have released our video on the deep fakes as well, in which we have dealt that how deep fakes, which is a AI based thing, is curbing the privacy of individuals. How our images, how our data is not safe. It can be taken, it can be misused by the AI. So although we have digitalized everything, now our every aspect is into the digital life. Your Aadhaar card, your bank details, your gallery, your social media, everything is at stake. So it is very important that we must have a stringent law which will protect our digital identity. So it is very important that you shall remain safe in the usage of the social media and do it cautiously, and should not also harm to others by mocking and by using the AI in the wrong form. So our digital personal data protection bill has been presented, and this will definitely help in strengthening the laws. Another very significant news is of the Gyan Vapi mosque dispute. Here the Muslim community has filed a case before the court in order to stop the survey which has been passed by the Allahabad High Court, and this had remained a very significant news post Supreme Court announced the decision on the Ram Mandir and Ayodhya Ram Mandir and the Babri Masjid dispute. So post that, this was the second highlighted issue between a temple and a mosque, and the ASI has did a survey. However, the Supreme Court has said that there shall be no excavation to be done by the ASI, and it has to be done purely on a upper basis. So this was important, and the committee has said that they will submit the report to the Supreme Court, and post that this court will define what is the boundary level for both the communities. Press and Registration of Periodicals Bill 2023. So this bill has been introduced to modernize and streamline the registration process. So we do have different kinds of periodicals in our country. So for their registration, this bill has been introduced, and with the introduction of this bill, we are trying to ensure that there is a more transparent procedure in the registration and the publication. So one of the very significant change which they have introduced is the empowerment of the Press Registrar General, and we have introduced this authority, and this authority will have the power to suspend or cancel registration if they do not meet the statutory requirements. Earlier, only the district magistrate had the power to cancel the declaration of the periodical. So this will ensure definitely a more transparent procedure, and it will also ensure the faster and smooth process. Handbook on Gender Stereotypes. So Supreme Court has released this 30 pages handbook on the gender stereotype. Now this handbook is meant for the legal community, all those who are into the judiciary or in the bar, or for the bench who are practicing, who are legal practitioners. It is meant for them in order to streamline the kinds of words we are using in the court. So the court was very much concerned for using the language, and with the usage of the language we have to promote the equal rights. We should not use derogatory language for any of the gender, maybe for the women or the transgender or likewise. So this was the purpose, there was a purpose behind introducing this handbook, in order to remove the stereotype which we have created against a particular gender and to ensure better functioning. So this was all for today. In this video, we have discussed multiple important news from the last few months, and in the coming part 2, we will again come up with the most important news for the recent months. So I hope the video was for use to you, and see you in the next video. Stay tuned. Thank you.